Hi, I'm Chris Bragg, the Senior Resident Superior Court Judge for Union County. Welcome to This Is Your Court. This program is designed to educate and inform the citizens of Union County about our third branch of government, the judicial branch. As we all know, it is election time, and there are contested judicial elections on the 2016 ballot. This year, due to the retirement of Judge David Lee, there will be an election to fill his seat on the Superior Court. Superior Court elections are by judicial district, and Union County is a single county judicial district. Therefore, the voters of Union County will determine who will fill Judge Lee's seat. Superior Court judges are elected to 8-year terms, so the winner of this year's election will hold office through December 31st, 2024. The Superior Court hears civil cases in which the amount in controversy exceeds $25,000. It is also the proper division for certain special proceedings, condemnation actions, corporate receiverships, review of decisions of administrative agencies, and for the probate of wills and administration of estates. As for criminal cases, the Superior Court handles all felony cases, and misdemeanor cases appealed from the district court. Both criminal and civil cases in Superior Court are tried before a 12-person jury. The North Carolina Constitution requires Superior Court judges to rotate between judicial districts, or ride the circuit. Each Superior Court judge holds court for at least 6 months in a Superior Court district. The rotation method was developed to avoid any favoritism that might result from always having the same judge hold court where he or she may live. Joining me on today's program is Mr. Robert Palmer, one of the 2 candidates for Union County Superior Court Judge. Mr. Palmer, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Judge Bragg. It's a pleasure to be here today. I think it's a great honor and great privilege that you taking the opportunity in your schedule to do this for the folks of Union County. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Robert Palmer, and I am running for the position of Superior Court Judge here in Union County.
And Robert, for those citizens who may not know you, could you please tell us who is Robert Palmer?
Absolutely. Folks, I guess the simplest way to put it for myself is I'm a family man. I'm 52 years old. I've been working as an attorney for 26 years. If you think about it, that's actually half my life I've been an attorney. But my entire life, I've been a family man. I've grown up in a family that puts its strong values on family values. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about my family. My family, I am married. I've been married for 15 years. My wife, her name is Susie Palmer. She's formerly known as Susie Austin. I have 4 children we do together, and my oldest son, his name is Corey. He currently lives up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, working with the Emergency Medical Services. Just recently graduated from Old Dominion University, receiving his degree in biology. I have 2 lovely daughters. One works with me in my office, and she's pursuing a career in law, currently seeking to acquire her paralegal certificate, and then hopes to further that and acquire her law degree. My other daughter, Autumn, she is currently enrolled in Liberty University and is pursuing a career in Christian missions and Christian ministries. And my youngest son, Christian, he's 13 years old, 8th grade, currently enrolled in Metro Carolina Christian Academy in Indian Trail, North Carolina. My wife, she grew up here in this community. Her father, Jack Austin, grew up in New Salem Township, and her mother, Betty Sue Helms, grew up here in downtown around Monroe, North Carolina. Myself, I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia. My father, a wonderful man, a great provider, a very wise man, but he was a man of very humble beginnings. He spent his life working as a mechanic and retired from Ford Motor Company after 30 long years. But he taught us and instilled with us a strong work ethic, which I have also hopefully instilled in my children. My mother, she's been one person of servanthood and service, many years in mission work and church work. Today, I guess at this point here, my goal is to keep leading these same examples for my family. I believe in being an involved father, involved person, and I'll talk to you that in just a little bit. As far as my education, Judge Bragg, I received my Juris Doctorate degree, my law degree, in May of 1990 from Claude W. Pettit College of Law from the Ohio Northern University. Prior to that, I received my Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice with 2 minor concentrations, one in political science and one in English grammar. And the interesting thing is, we talk about degrees today, but a longtime partner of mine who's been an attorney for over 40 years, when I walked through his office, I looked around and I saw none of his degrees on the walls anywhere. And he reminded me, he says, it's not so much, what I did yesterday. In fact, the only degree you're going to see on my office is my high school diploma. That's it. He says, it's not important what I did yesterday. When people come to my office, I want them to know what I'm doing today and what I'm going to do tomorrow. Because that's really what matters now. But I'm proud of the education I had. It was a long journey and it was very difficult. I put a lot of hard work in there, and it has been very rewarding in many ways. Outside the education, my professional career, I have been an attorney for 26 years. Now, the last 20 years of my career have been spent entirely here in Union County, North Carolina. My office has been located on the east side of Union County in the town of Marshville. And it has been extremely rewarding as well, in the sense of being out to be involved with the people of the community. It's a very community-oriented type of area on the east side of the county. This county, Union County, is, I understand it to be the 9th fastest growing county in the United States. So this is also a very transient county with people moving in, people moving out. We see that on the west side, but we see a lot of people on the east side seem to be more stable, same people, long-time citizens. In the career here in my office, I have been a very wide, broad-based type of practice, primarily in the civil area of law. We've had extensive work in the areas of personal injury, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, and then expanding out also into the whole array of family law type cases dealing with divorces, custody matters, child support matters. We've also had extensive work in setting up a very ongoing real estate practice, both in residential and commercial real estate closings, also in real estate litigation. Now, a lot of people don't realize that, but there are quite a few land disputes throughout here in Union County. We've also had a lot of exposure in the estates and trust work, which is also one of the areas of original jurisdiction for the Superior Court. And we've had extensive practice in that, both hands-on, working that dealing with many, many clients, and also dealing with cases in court on behalf of clients in those areas. The nature of the practice has not always been easy. Working by yourself, there are great times and there are lean times. That's just like any business. But after 26 years, I think one thing is clear, and that's commitment. Whether things are tough or whether things are going extremely well, the idea is you're going to be committed, not just to, what you're trying to do for yourself, but the commitment is the people in your community, they know you're there, they expect you to be there for them also. If it takes the extra, you're going to do it. But it takes you getting outside your office also. The office is great, but the office also works when you, as the attorney, see yourself as an individual. You get out in the communities, you become a part of the people. And that's what I have done for the last 20 years. I've taken part with the local organizations, the Beaver Lane Fire Department, served on their board for many years, working with them here recently through a lot of their contract negotiations with the county. Along with a lot of the other smaller fire departments throughout the county. We've had opportunities to work with the local chambers of commerce. They're putting on an event, in fact tomorrow, which we started probably about 18 years ago over in Marshville. It's the Bull Wheel Festival, so by the time you see this, it'll already be, but it's a great event, and it goes every year. We have other church organizations. There's many churches. This is one thing Union County is not lacking in, and that's churches. Now, people see that as a problem. That's a great thing, because it's making a great exposure. And our family's been one that's been very involved in that. But it takes you and puts you in the community. People see that we've had a lot of mission work into the local communities. People have known me to go out and do a lot of work on the international basis down in Central America and down in South America, primarily Venezuela, doing a lot of mission work there, hands-on, providing resources, providing materials, learning materials that people just can't get, natural resources for food and supplies, things of that sort, but also education and teaching them, going into their schools, teaching them, principles, Bible-based principles. And also with, leaders in these countries. Venezuela, by the way, is a communist country and very closed off to most things, but yet with our teams, they were able to open that up and also allow us opportunities to meet with many of their community leaders around the country to also educate them about our own court system and our constitutional principles. And even there, they so highly value the principles that we have the ability to actually live with, and they don't. And it's unfortunate that so many people here take it for granted what we have been truly blessed with as a nation. That's pretty much me and my involvement as a person.
All right. Well, can you tell us, why are you seeking election to the Superior Court?
Superior Court is a position of very, very great responsibility and something that no one can take lightly. After 26 years of a very vast involvement with most areas of the law, it's at this point, I feel that yes, this is something that needs to be done for myself, for the communities. I mean, the people need a person in that position who has had such exposure to that much of the law. They also need a person in there that has had that kind of exposure and involvement in the communities with people. The court system isn't just a system made up of just laws and principles, applying them or not, or just various cases across the board. These cases all involve individual people. And unfortunately, people, and even the court, sometimes lose sight of the fact because there are so many cases, but we forget that these are actually individuals. And to these individuals, they're the only thing that's important that day. It may be 10 people in court. I know that would be rare. It's more likely there's going to be 150 to 200 or more in court that day. And it's very easy to lose sight of them as individuals, but it's so important to them. We've got to remember this. And I think in working in practice this long with this many people, and not only in the neighborhoods and on the mission field, that you just can't lose sight of the individual. They are what matters most. And they need to know that when they come into court, because this may be their only time, opportunity to ever present that they have to do in their entire life. And it's going to have a lifelong effect on what happens for them in court that day. And I cannot, and I will not lose sight of that. I believe it's important, to take the things that I've learned and put them into practice, and that's going to be a very difficult road ahead, which I recognize, but I know it's one that has to be taken.
Robert, who is your opponent in this year's election?
My opponent, his name is Jeff Carpenter.
And can you tell us, what characteristics do you think are most important for a Superior Court judge?
Right away, some people think that should be a difficult question, but that's probably one of the best questions and people really need to understand. To me, the most important character trait for a judge that comes out, or characteristic, would be one of wisdom. Wisdom is not something that's going to be taken lightly. It's not something that's just going to be acquired overnight. That's something that comes from life experiences as well as training. It puts me immediately in the mind of King Solomon. And here he was faced immediately with taking over responsibility of king over an entire nation. And he could have been received anything from God as he asked for, but he chose the thing that he knew that he was going to need the most, and that was wisdom. Now, you're sitting here as a judge going to be making decisions over a vast amount of people on a daily basis. You've done it. And looking at you're a great mentor for many people, Judge. There's a lot of people across here, they see you with that same kind of wisdom. I've had many cases before you myself, and over the years, I've seen you exhibit it. But when I look at that, it's not just a training in the law. There's 26 years, in practice. But in that 26 years, you deal with people on a daily basis. Many people from so many arrays of areas of life, not just in committing certain crimes, but all the situations that arise every day in their lives between their families, between their neighbors, between their community leaders. These are things that the judge is going to have to deal with. As an attorney, you see the arguments that are made for this party here and for this party here. But for me, as an attorney, I just can't go into a court and make an argument on behalf of somebody for the sake of making an argument. If I don't feel in my heart and believe in my heart that what they're doing is right, I cannot effectively go into court and present their case, nor would I be willing to take their case on. So when I look at a person there in court, with the wisdom, my prayer and my hope is that from all these years of dealing with this many people in the professional setting and in the outside of professional setting in the communities and out on the mission field in the various areas, that will be able to come together so you can see the true heart of the people, because you can't look at that. These are just not another case. These are real people.
You mentioned life experiences. What life experiences do you believe have prepared you to serve as a Superior Court judge?
Well, with life experiences, let me also point out real quick, and I don't mean to backtrack this a little bit, but real briefly, the other characters you're also looking at here, one is knowledge of law. That's very important. You got to have knowledge of law. Without it, what effect is somebody really going to have? You just can't go into court. I know we see TV shows in the media, and a lot of decisions, on some of our people's court, we have a lot of common sense decisions made, and common sense can't be lost in court. It certainly can't, but you need knowledge of the law also. But you also, one of the other characters that I do hold very dear, and I think it's very high importance, is the heart of a leader. I mean, the judge is sitting in a leadership position, and the heart of that person sitting in that leadership position is going to speak volumes on how they're going to be then as a judge. What makes the heart of a leader? There again, I think the best example there is the person there have a heart of one that's more of arrogance, pride that they have, or is it one more of servanthood? You're in a position to serve the people. Yes, you preside over them and you hold this great authority over everyone that stands there, but your job is to serve not just those people there that are before you, but the community that's out there, because every decision you make is going to have an effect on everybody else out there somewhere, and in every other area of law. This may be a particular real estate matter, but your decision can have a ripple effect in so many other areas of law that if you haven't had exposure to them, you won't see it coming. So the knowledge of the law is certainly important. The heart of a leader, if they don't have a servant's heart, look at the best leaders, throughout history. We've had some. You got Moses, you got King David, and you got Jesus. All of them had a heart of a servant. Moses was called the most humble man on the face of the earth at the time. David was the least of his brothers. These people had a servant's heart. Those are the characteristics. But your question, life experiences, all right. To me, life experiences, number one, 26 years of law practice. That's a lot of life experience. You see a lot of people with a lot of different situations, some very good, some bad. I have people coming in, and take the family law matter, for instance. People come in, some of them are very angry when they come in, a lot of hate, a lot of spite, a lot of animosity, they want, divorce. Others come in a family situation, they're not angry, but they come with much hurt, much despair. Okay, they've spent their whole life on things, and they want unification. You know the law as the attorney. The problem is the law does not always solve a person's situation problem. That's where the wisdom is going to come in, and life experience will show you. So sometimes it sits down and just listening to the people, talking to them, understanding their background, their cultures. Okay, and I've had probably, I can't keep count, but a very high percentage of people coming in for divorces that have actually ended up reconciling their marriages and carrying on rather than going through the court system to pursue the divorce. Life experiences in the mission field, being out in other cultures. Today's society, we've got two great big issues facing people. And it's creating a lot of fear in people. Fear is a real problem in our communities. Okay? We got racial divide in our country. We've got cultural divide in our country. Those are the two big divides we're seeing played out through the media. My experiences have taken me into these various cultures, especially in Central and South America, with an extensive period of time, and to give me a unique understanding of those cultures. When the people come in, the law is the law, and people are bound by the law no matter where they are. When we go share on the mission field principles, biblical principles, they stay the same regardless of the cultures. Well, the laws work the same way. But there's a heart of people that is different that also needs to be understood. Remember, these are people, and how we apply law to them as individuals, taking into account their culture, is going to have an impact on them, and it's going to lead into one of the other things that I think we're going to talk about here in a minute, is what to do about that. Okay?
As a candidate for the Superior Court, what challenges do you see that face the Superior Court?
Well, one of the challenges kind of leads to what we were talking about. I think that there's actually several. One of the big ones is I think that there's a big distrust in the communities about our court system. And that's unfortunate. And part of that, there could be many reasons. There may be reasons in the media overexposing certain facts, certain statistics, or certain situations, over and above what they really are. Regardless of them being blown out of proportion, they do show us that there is a real problem. There's a real racial divide and there's a real cultural divide. And there's safety concerns. We see, news is always going to generally report on that which is bad. If somebody does a great thing, we don't hear it reported that much. I'd love to hear good news. We don't seem to hear it too often. But when something bad happens, it is reported. For instance, look at the break-ins, just in our own communities here lately. Over in the Wesley Chapel area, there's been a lot of break-ins. People are concerned about their safety. And they're counting and almost demanding that the courts are going to step in to do what needs to be done. That's a big problem. That creates distrust in our court system and those that are involved with it. What can be done? And I can say I understand that. It was, 16 years ago, 10:30 in the morning, on a Tuesday morning in my office. Now, I wasn't there, but my staff was there. The office was open. A man comes in to rob my office in the middle of the morning. He comes in there. My staff is concerned. He wants money. He calls. I'm not there. I finally catch on after a few phone calls what's going on and contact the police and send them in. They arrest the man. He's taken into custody immediately. But the very sad part of that, and it isn't just me, but it happens prevalently, the man was let go. He was never prosecuted. Nothing ever happened. I was never told a word about it. That happens to a lot of people the same way. Now, the Superior Court judge at that point really don't have no control over it. I understand that. But that's part of our system. People need to be demanding that things be done right from the beginning, from the arrest, up to the district attorney's office prosecuting. And then when things come before the judge, there's a lot of deals that are made, that are going to work out to help free up the other problem we're facing, which is extreme backlog in the court system. There is a backlog. And like you said, judges here are also required to ride a circuit, to help keep down local bias in favor of one person or the other. And that just contributes to the backlog problem that we're having in the courts, because you can't stay here long enough sometimes to make sure that when you've dealt with the case earlier on, that when you follow up through with it again, that certain deadlines and things that you put in place are going to be adhered to and followed through. That's a problem. Well, as things get worked out, through plea deals, and all plea deals are not bad. Sometimes there's a necessity for plea deals to be made to help take care of things, through the administrative process, the same as they're going to work out if they come to court, but they shouldn't be any less. But also on the plea deals, the judge, many of these, has to also review these and look at these circumstances. When we're looking at violent crimes, anything involving drugs, or any kind of violence, anything with children, those have to be looked at, I think, with great discretion on there. And all plea deals, really can't always be accepted. They may look good to the parties, but the problem is to the community, they're also another party that has to be considered. How is this going to affect them? How is it going to affect the trust on our system at the same time? It's okay sometimes to say, no, we're going to have to try this case. And that's going to be something that I will have to take a stand on. Sometimes it's easier just to say, we're just going to follow the law.
And you lead into this next question. So if you're elected, what actions or efforts would you take to overcome the challenges you just mentioned?
But one of the unique life experiences I also had, which will help with that, is I have been involved and exposed to other types of court systems. I also spent 6 years practicing in the court systems in the state of Ohio. It's a vastly different court system than what we have here in North Carolina. One is certainly not better than the other, but they both have distinct advantages that the others don't have. And being able to see, the compilation of both, I think bringing that to the table will help cut back on a lot of that backlog. Especially in the civil law realm. In the civil law realm, as a Superior Court judge, you do have authority over these cases to set deadlines, especially discovery deadlines, and put a kind of a timeline track on many of these cases. Now, having worked these cases for 26 years, I have a pretty good understanding of the time it takes for people to prepare their cases, put them together, to get them ready for trial. I know the deadlines that will be sufficient for them to work with to get their discovery done so that people don't procrastinate, put off. Attorneys have a lot of reasons to miss things, and most of them are very legitimate. There's other cases, they just won't have one case to work on. They have a lot of cases, and it gets hard. Timelines often work very effectively. That's just one area, especially in the civil realm. And other areas, there are generally 5 days a week. In the court system, all 5 days generally aren't always utilized for the court. There could be various reasons to the Office of Administrative Courts in Raleigh that set some parameters on that. I understand that. But when the Superior Court judge does have authority to still have a day to do that, yeah, there's these things to be done on that other day of the week, but you know what? If there's a chance that there's a backlog of things to be done with, if it's not scheduled already by the AOC, the Office of Administrative Courts, that's fine. If it's not a civil matter, then we can make use of that other day to still keep things moving. As far as the distrust factor, I think as judge, you can't just work in the court. I've seen you get involved in some community activities, but as a judge, the judge needs to also be outside the court, getting involved with the community so they see that presence. They know that, yes, this is a person who really is concerned, not just about, this job or this, but he's concerned about us as a people, this community, everybody out there. That's what they see. That's what people need to see. Yeah, I think that can make a big difference.
What would you like to say to the citizens of Union County about your candidacy for the Superior Court?
Folks, the Superior Court judge position in and of itself is one of very great, awesome respect and responsibility. It's one that cannot be taken lightly. Every individual client that I've had to represent was one of great responsibility. To them, the whole world revolves around just their case. But regardless of how many cases there are, I've been the person that has put passion in my whole life into every case that I have ever worked with. It will be no different here as Superior Court judge. That's the kind of position it is. My goal here is to make sure that, first of all, as a family man, I'm concerned about my family's safety, their concern, their provision. But it isn't just my family, because it's about your family too. And you need to be able to know, when you look there at that position, that judge, that that person has your concerns just as much at heart as he does his own concerns. The other thing that I look at as Superior Court judge here is, when you look at the candidate, are you looking to see, well, what has that person actually done? In their practice, outside their practice. Are they a person that is just being here, how do you want to say, just endorsed by certain people? Have they spent their life just going out and having people just say, yeah, this is the person, that I'm going to support, this person I endorse, this person here is doing this for me, this person over here is doing that for me, this person over here is doing this for me? Or is that candidate the person that's out there doing these things for you? That's the question. I think that makes a difference on the person that you're going to see the character, in the heart of a Superior Court judge. Is that candidate been out there doing things for you over the past years, or are they more concerned about what other people are doing for them? I think that makes a big difference.
Thank you, Robert. I'd like to thank Robert Palmer for joining me on today's program and giving the voters of Union County some insight as to who you are and why you're running for the Superior Court. To the citizens of Union County, please exercise your constitutional right to vote. Early voting begins October 20th of 2016 and will run through November 5th, with Election Day on Tuesday, November 8th. This election for Superior Court is a nonpartisan election and will be found at the bottom of page 2 of your ballot. Please do not overlook or miss your opportunity to vote on this important contested judicial election. Finally, many thanks to Union County's Public Information Officer, Brett Vines, for making this program possible. Until next time, I am Judge Chris Bragg, and this is your court.
Judge, one thing.
Yes, sir.
November 8th, make sure you vote. And remember, you can read more about me at robertpalmer4judge.com. That's the number 4. Robert Palmer, number 4judge.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Good luck.